we have a roll call vote, please?
No, just a roll call.
Or, yeah, let's have a roll call.
Okay. Mr. Riley?
Here.
Mrs. Minnie? Here. Mr. Clancer?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Tremblay here.
Okay, moving on to our consent agenda. Somebody like to make a motion to approve our consent agenda for $124,001.81.
I'll move to it.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie? Yes. Mr. Clancer?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes.
Moving on, citizens wishing to address the board. Mr. Robert Abernathy. Yes, sir.
On the wall.
Robert Abernathy, 8235 State Road, Burtchville, Michigan. Driving through the cemetery recently, it's been kudos to whoever worked out there. The place is wonderful. It looks great. The shrubs that we're allowed to grow back are thriving. Couldn't be prouder. So whoever did the work, whoever was responsible for the choices on the shrubbery, et cetera, did a great job. I don't know if that needs to be voted on or for, the shrubbery thing. I know it was discussed, but I think it looks really great. I'm sure everybody else does too.
Thank you.
I'm still confused a little bit about when bids go out. I asked last month about, about the bid on the TLC. And last year in November, there was a bid voted on, and it was published that the bid was going to go out for approval, or for, bids were going to be accepted. And then there weren't any bids put out, but it was published in the minutes that the bids were going to go out. And then the following month, we had a citizen come in and ask if they could place a bid, and they were told yes. And then come February, it was voted on to renew the old business. After discussing with the one who wanted to place a bid, I find out that he was going to match the bid, and his education level, I think, is higher than what TLC was, and he was going to offer more services for the same amount of money. So I'm curious, I'd just like to know how bids actually work, if they go out for bid whenever you make a phone call, or if they go out for bid when they're voted on.
We don't have to publish for a bid.
No, I'm not asking about publishing. You voted on putting the job out for bid. It was published in the minutes. So when everybody gets the minutes and they read the minutes, they see, oh, this job's up for bid. I'd like to bid on it. And then a gentleman came in the following month and said, I'd like to bid on it. And he was told, yes, you can. We are accepting bids. And then in February, we were told that it didn't go out for bid. I'm a bit confused as to when bids start.
But we just decided that we weren't going to put it out for bid.
Okay.
Because he offered to do it for the same price he did for last year, and we were very happy with the job that he was doing.
Okay. Also mentioned in those same minutes was there was at least two things that he was going to be asked about, and one of them was in the contract it said 5 feet on either side of the bike path, and it's still only 2 to 2.5.
We do 3 feet on the bike path. I think it was 3 feet.
So that's in the contract? I thought the contract said 5.
Well, it may be 5 feet. I'm not sure. Is it 5 feet?
Yeah, it's
I don't know,
Well,
I have to look it up.
It's cut the same way it's always been cut, so, And we had the county go back through there and clear off some areas. There's a lot of areas in there you can't cut it, 5 feet.
Right. But the majority of that main path can be cut to 5 feet, and then don't we pay the county for their boom brushing or whatever it's called?
Boom axing?
Boom axing, yeah, do we have to pay them?
We pay them, yes. They
So
did it.
if they
did
have
it for
to,
the
if they have to
same price.
max more that we're already paying for in the contract, then it seems like we're paying more for something that should already be done, that we're paying for within the contract.
Well, this is the first time the width of the cutting has ever been brought up, so I guess we, as a board, we would have to discuss that and see,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, because I did bring it up before the vote, or right after the vote took place. And that was one of the things that was in the minutes, that there were two things. One, them speeding out there. And I saw them cutting the lawn out here, although the lawn looks really good. They were still at the speed they were last year. But anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Pat Jenks.
Pat Jenks, 6240 State Road, Victor, Michigan. I'm just curious on the memorial, the spray, the spray applications and stuff that's supposed to be here in the library in Memorial, in front of Lakeport Market. Nobody's done that this year, nobody's sprayed the meeting lines and stuff, if somebody could just check on that.
I'll be glad to. I thought it was all, I think.
It's more, we need somebody to check on it and see why it hasn't been done this year with Memorial Day coming up and stuff.
Okay. Ken Cummings.
Thanks, Mike. Ken Cummings, 3600 Elaine Street. I wanted to address the board with regards to the letter that I received regarding water usage in the township. I'm not sure how many of these went out, but it's pretty clear from the first sentence in the letter that only certain residents were singled out and profiled by the DPW superintendent. Are you guys familiar with the letter?
Yes.
Okay. It seems like only certain accounts were flagged by Mr. Kowalski and identified as high water usage residences. And I guess my response to that is, well, I may have apparently I was singled out, or my residence was singled out as one. I also pay more in water bill than anyone else because I use more water. So I think I understand what the township, I don't want to sound disrespectful in any way. You guys know, I think all of you know, that I spent 4 years in your chair at one point in time. So I do understand both sides of the issue, but I really feel like the letter that was crafted here was in very poor taste, in my opinion, with just based on the opening sentence on it, and perhaps could be reevaluated or reconsidered. It sounds from the rest of the letter, what you're attempting, or what he's attempting to focus on, is the time of the day that water is being used. Yet there's no reference to what time of the day is inappropriate. All it talks about is watering your lawns between midnight and 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. I believe it is. But there's really no reference to the time of the day when supposedly the peak usage is driving our township rates up. So I have absolutely no idea, other than the fact I've been accused of being a high water user, what it is I'm supposed to do. I don't know if any of you caught that in the letter or not, but I have absolutely no idea. I guess the other thing is, I take great offense to the fact that the township a number of years ago developed an ordinance that requires citizens in the water district to look into the water system, which I think is appropriate. That's how we pay for the system. But now we're sort of being told we really can't use the water because you're using too much of it. I guess it's just sending a bad message, in my opinion, and quite frankly, I wanted to share with you that the letter and the way it's written really didn't set well with me. Again, I want to emphasize, I appreciate what you're trying to do by keeping the rates down and modifying the rates, but the way this letter is crafted just is really, in my opinion, very offensive to me as a citizen. I pay my water bill on time. I've never been late. I pay it, completely. I do use a lot of I do use water. I won't deny that. I don't let it run down the drain. I mean, we just use it in our normal life. And as far as my sprinklers have always been set for 3 a.m. in the morning. That's when I run them. I rarely ever run them because of the cost of the water associated with it. So I just think it's unfair to say you have to hook to the system, but don't use the water. And that's sort of what this letter, I think, says that went out. I don't know how many of these went out, but I got one, and it quite frankly offended me when I read it. And I don't think that's what you were trying to do.
No, that wasn't at all what we were we're trying to do. You know, when you go down to the water board, you know, you get charged on your peak hours and your off-peak
Right.
hours. You know, and what happened is the last time that we were over our peak hours, you know, by 4 or 5 days that we were over last year, and when we went down to the water board. And all we're trying to do is, and maybe, like you say, maybe the letter wasn't for taste, you know.
I
But
think
all
you're
we're
exact-
actually trying to do is get people to switch over and start, you know, we like them to use water.
Right, well,
You
that's
know,
what I thought.
Don't get me wrong, we love them to use water, you know, but at the times of the day, you know, if you're gonna water your system, if you have a watering system, hook it up to run from, you know, 11 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, those are off-peak hours, so that way we don't have to pay an extra fee if we go over our peak hours.
And I
And
think that's fair, Mike.
that's all we really intended to do with the letter.
I think that issue is completely fair. And the other thing I would add is, I'm not sure what the peak hours are for the
Yeah.
system.
Well, I think they're,
I assume it's the afternoon, but I don't
they're
really
10, I
know.
think they're 10 o'clock at night till 5:30 in the morning.
Oh,
You know, so.
That's
Those
the
are all-
non-
no.
That's the non.
Oh,
Peak
you
hours
mean
are-
peak
Yeah,
hours.
Peak hours are like 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
5 p.m. to 10.
I mean, those aren't even in here, so as a user, you don't even know when to.
Well, we
cut-
probably
cut
should
back.
maybe explain that,
So,
and if we ever send another one out, we'll make
All right.
sure we correct it.
Thanks.
So
I
if we're
appreciate it.
offended, we're sorry about it.
I accept your apology.
But you know, sitting here on this side
I
of
know.
the table, you know, we're trying to keep the water prices as low as we can for all the residents of the township.
I wasn't really that offended, but.
Well, no, okay. Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to address the board? Okay, thank you. Move on to approve our agenda, and we want to make 2 additions.
Yes.
And one is,
The anti-blight ordinance should probably go under unfinished business.
okay, as E.
Mhm.
And the tower,
The,
West Shore Towers.
right,
is,
should go under,
new-
like,
I guess we could, it's old business, but yet it's a brand new tower. so
right, we
put
could put it
under
under new business, I guess.
As E.
Mhm. I put it down the lines of the right.
Is there anything else that we want to add to that?
I can't think of anything right now.
Moving on to departmental reports. We're going to hold off on the fire. Our chief is on the road. He's going to be, plans on being here, but we're going to have him speak when he gets here, He's on his way back from Ohio, and he called me and said he was going to be late, so we'll go on to the,
Agenda first.
yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
We added it, we didn't approve it.
Yeah, let's have a vote on approving the agenda.
We've got a motion, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the additions of the anti-blight ordinance and West Shore Services higher power.
Okay. We have a motion and support. Any further questions? Hearing none, I would ask for a vote.
Ayes?
Ayes or nays? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So, okay, we're going to go to the departmental reports. Building department, Bill?
We had 5 permits in the month of April, totaling $191,000, and we collected a fee of $1,613.
Okay, thank you.